Hello and welcome to another video in the series of training videos on how to be successful in multi-level marketing. This one is titled Third-Party Invitation. Once again, I'm Rob Lemke. I'm a lifestyle trainer with approximately 20 years of experience in network marketing. So hopefully I can bring that experience to bear as we go through these slides together. Are you ready? Then let's go. Okay, so we're talking about prospecting. When we go out to meet people and tell them about the opportunity, we have different ways of approaching people. And some of our approaches, as we've seen in the past, people are becoming suspicious or defensive in the way that we talk to them. Oh, why is that? Well, basically, when you talk about an approach that's unsolicited, we have a lot of experience with that. People phoning us up and telling us about an opportunity or a product that we haven't had any interest in and haven't asked anybody to phone us on that. It's an unsolicited type of phone call. So those kinds of things put people on edge, right? And trigger a response of, no thanks, I'm not interested. So that's what we're facing when we do prospecting, right? Especially if we have an untargeted approach. Basically, if we relate back to the way people prospect for gold, an untargeted approach is something where people haven't really done any survey of the land and they go in and start searching all over the place for the gold, rather than doing a geological survey and finding out where the gold will very likely be. Where's the dirt, where the most likely flecks of gold can be found. Otherwise, you're doing basically throwing a wide net and going over acres and acres of land, trying to find flecks of gold, and it takes you a lot of unnecessary time to do that. Whereas if you do a geological survey and find out where that gold is most likely to be, whether it's going to be at the bottom of a riverbed or down that side of the mountain where there's a lot of rainfall, etc., etc. These geological surveys will narrow down for the prospector about where the likelihood of the gold will be. Okay, and so if we apply that to network marketing, basically what we're doing is a geological survey with a survey question that is the third-party invitation, or the TPI, okay? Why do we do that? Because the research has found that this third-party invitation type of question is the one that's most disarming, the one that people won't become defensive and suspicious of, because you're not directly asking them, you're asking them for help. Do you know of anyone, okay? And so this is very important for our organization, everybody in our downline. We should make sure that all of our people know what is a third-party invitation and what it is not. So we're going to begin today by showing what it is not. What it is. Okay, first of all, what TPI or third-party invitation is not. I go up to Julia, which is my friend, and I say to her, hey, are you interested in getting a second income or starting a second business? I don't do that directly to Julia. And the reason I don't do that is because she's going to become defensive and say, hey, why is he asking me a question like that? Does he feel like I'm not financially stable or what? She wants to come across to you as being financially okay. And so she'll have this triggered response of, no, I'm not really interested. Even though I'm a friend of hers, it's a very direct approach, right? And by doing that and triggering that kind of response, basically what you've done is shut down not only Julia, but you've also shut down her two friends, right? And the whole network behind her, with no further access to that entire network to tell each one of them or many of them about the opportunity. You've lost that opportunity by using a direct question. So that's what third-party invitation is not. It's not supposed to look like that. Let's have a look at how it's supposed to look. So instead of saying directly to Julia, I go up to Julia and say, it's still my friend, it's still the same person. And I'm saying to her instead, Julia, I've got this great new exciting opportunity. And guess what? You can help me with this. Do you know anyone that would be interested? Do you know anyone that would be interested in getting into a second business, earning some extra income? And Julia, instead of shutting you down and say, I'm not interested, the question was not to her. It's about her helping you now. Do you know of anybody? It triggers in her mind that she knows two friends. Hey, Catherine would be interested in this. Natasha would be interested in this. Yeah, I know two friends. Here's their information. And by the way, I'm also interested. It sounds like a good opportunity. Me too, right? She wants in. She wants to know what it is. Suddenly now, you've got Julia interested with this third-party invitation. You've got a possibility now to introduce the opportunity to her two friends, but not only that, to their close network, and then to a wider network of people by doing the same thing with the third-party invitation. And suddenly you have access to all of her vast network for a targeted, surveyed type of prospecting of that whole network, right? You know that they're interested because you've asked permission essentially first. Do you know of anyone that might be interested? And you've unlocked a whole network there just by asking the right question. So that's the idea of the third-party invitation. It gives you access to networks where you would not be able to get with a direct question of, hey, are you interested in this? You're asking rather, hey, do you know of anyone? Can you help me? Do you know of anybody that would be interested in this kind of second business or second way of making money? So there you go. Now we can use that information and apply it to our own situation. What I'd like you to do is think of 10 people. Make a list of 10 people that you know or that you're going to run into. For example, your neighbor, a colleague at work, colleagues at work, your doctor, the manager in the petrol station, the people that go to the same coffee place that you do, and you see them every morning. Maybe you're already saying hi to them. You're on a friendly basis, an acquaintance basis with them. You're a veterinarian. You've got your pet dog that needs to go every month for grooming, so you know your vet quite well. The dentist. Your former colleagues from former jobs. Okay, so you have a whole list here already of people that you know. I want you to make a list of 10 of them, okay? And ask them if they know anybody. Don't go directly to them and say, hey, are you interested? Just say if they know anybody who's interested in earning an extra income, and do it in a way that you're just like making an experiment. You just want to get their reaction, okay? That's the mindset you should be going in with. And if they say, what is it, right? Rather than they want, the reason they're saying what is it is because they want in on it. The same way that Julia said, me too. This is the kind of reaction you're most likely to get because you've asked the indirect question and actually it brings them to the place of curiosity and they want to know for themselves. Why? Because the person that they know, one of them is themselves, right? They want to make extra income. They want a second business. They want to do better for themselves. And what they want from you now is more information so that they can make a decision on it. Okay, so when they express that kind of curiosity, you should be ready with it, ready with some kind of response about multi-level marketing, because that's what this is about. So do you know about multi-level marketing is the next question to ask. And you should say it's a form of word of mouth. And what is word of mouth advertising? Word of mouth marketing. We sometimes call it advertising too. So word of mouth marketing is basically, for it to happen, you need one person who speaks, right, and another person who has to listen. That's really it. And the people who are talking, they've got reasons to talk. Here they are right over here, they're listed. One, the first reason is that they have a full understanding of something. The second is that they're talking about something that has enhanced their life, right? In my case, I've lost 30 kilos from the JEUNESSE Zen system, and it's a personal experience, and I can talk about that with authority because it happened to me, right? Also, I'm compelled to talk about it. So these three reasons, these are the reasons people talk. And the reasons that people listen, well, they trust you, right? They see you every day at the coffee house. They are your doctor. They are your vet. They know who you are in the community. They trust the person that's talking, and they understand the backstory, right? I want to ask you if you know somebody who is interested, not are you interested in the product. So they know that backstory. You're asking them a question and requesting their help for this. And not only that, it becomes interesting for them because they see the result in you, and it becomes interesting, and they're interested and curious to know more so that they can make a decision, okay? So if they say, yes, yeah, I know about multi-level marketing, you can start also a discussion on what do you know about it? What do you know about multi-level marketing? All right, I know this and that about multi-level marketing, and then you can explain to them further and narrow it down to the multi-level marketing features and benefits and the value that people get from multi-level marketing, okay? So if you remember back to the first presentation, we have this listing already of the top 10 features and benefits and the value of multi-level marketing. The first one being there's very little risk to get involved. There's also huge demand for the high quality of product. We went through why we have high quality of product, because the MLM companies have much more to spend on research and development. We also talked about residual income, the idea that you don't, once you've set up your own network, you're getting income all the time without spending too much time from that network, okay? Also the income growth potential, there is no cap, honestly. The amount of work that you put in, a lot of hard work to get there, but the income growth potential is very high in multi-level marketing. Also, you don't have to employ anybody. There's no employees that are working directly for you. There's no inventory. There's low operating costs. There's leverage returns of those that you help, okay? And that's where you get your leverage. Portability, it means you can do this business from anywhere in the world, as well as giving you a lifestyle that maybe many of you have dreamed about, and this gives you the opportunity to do that and to afford that kind of a lifestyle. All right, now to narrow it down a little bit, we'll talk about the current opportunity that my wife and myself have right now. It's with the JEUNESSE Global Company, and what I can do is talk to them and say, listen, I would like to make a meeting to talk to you about this later. You don't want to shotgun them right where they are because they may have to go back to work or whatever they have to do. You're not going to stand there for 45 minutes in front of the shop or in front of the doctor's office explaining to them the whole program. But you need to explain the whole program to them so that they understand before they say yes or no. Okay? Don't give them too little information. Don't shotgun them. Try to give everything in the 15 minutes. You need about 45 minutes to talk about it. So what do we talk about? In our case with the JEUNESSE, when we go for that second meeting, we talk about the youth enhancement system. It's everything kind of all summarized down into one pager, which is very nice to explain all of the products and all of the benefits that you get from the products, etc. Okay? We also talk to them about the 6 ways to earn because they're interested in the business side of things. So 6 ways to earn is another part of explaining to the people from the JEUNESSE side, right? Then I can also add my own story of losing 30 kgs of weight, right? And how that was. And I can go directly zoom in on the fitness side of things if that's what they're interested in. We talk about the Zen body system as part of the youth enhancement system. And for me, it's been incredible. It's a 30 kg so far. So that would be an avenue that I would like to, target people that look like they need the same product, right? And the same opportunities. Okay, so even with all that information and the third-party invitation now as a tool, still many of us will approach prospects with this fear, really a phobia of being rejected. And it is a deep-seated one, right? It's a part of our nature as human beings. We don't want to feel rejected. We want to feel part of the organization, part of the group. So again, even with all these tools and equipment, we still have to get over that fear somehow. And one way to get over the fear, I suppose, is to train people. Okay, so train people in your organization to sponsor and teach, and that takes the burden off of you as the first person in that part of the organization. Instead of having to go out and talk to 30, 40 people now, once you have your five serious people in place, they help you with this in terms of doing their own prospecting, and it eases the load for all of us in terms of rejection rate, right? You don't have to talk to that many people once you have your whole team trained and in place, and you divide that burden between all of you, right? Okay, so that's one way, is that you to sponsor and teach, and then there's less need to prospect. The second thing is, well, you continue how you're training your sponsors. The reason you train them is that there'll be less worry in the whole organization about prospecting, and they'll be able to more naturally talk about the opportunity and more naturally meet people if you put it in these terms and you go through these presentations with them in terms of how to get over the rejection. Okay, so what do you talk about with prospects again? Or sorry, what do you talk about with a prospect to get over the fear of rejection? You target it so that you're telling them about the multi-level marketing right away, because you haven't asked them directly, right? You're still standing on shore. You explain your program. You ask if they will join. You never miss the opportunity to ask. Okay? Never miss the opportunity to ask. Never miss the opportunity to ask. I say it 3 times because many of us, we go into a situation like this and we forget to ask the question. Are you interested? Are you able to join today? What's stopping you from joining today? That type of thing. I really ask the question and put them to the place where they have to make a decision. Okay. All right. So even with all that, the fear. Another example of the fear of rejection here is that for some of us, when we hear that no, we regress, right? Basically, it's out of self-defense. We want to protect ourselves from ever being rejected again. Good example is a young person going to a high school dance, asking a nice, pretty girl to dance. He walks across the floor, asks her to dance. She says no. He feels rejected, ashamed. I'm never going to go through that again. Decides never to ask another girl to dance all night, and he stands in the corner feeling rejected, right? So the flip side of that is you have another young fella who's gone through rejection and gotten over the fear of rejection. He goes to ask one girl to dance. She says no, but he's still alive. He's not ashamed. He goes to the next girl and says, hey, would you like to dance? Or do you know any of your friends? Maybe it would be more accurate. Do you know any of your friends that would like to dance with me? Might be a better question there. So he asked the next girl and the next girl, and eventually he's going to get a yes and another yes when he shows his ability to dance, right? So that fellow's going to be dancing all night. Well, when we look at that, we say we want to dance too, right? We don't want to stand in the corner and feel that feeling of rejection. I want to dance. I want to be part of it. I want to be part of the fun festivities. I want to be successful in this. I want to dance all night too. So how do I overcome that fear of rejection? What are some of the ways that we're going to do that? One is to trick your mind, right? If you have this phobia, you've got a way to get over it by tricking your mind, and also by starting to talk to more people. That's the part of it. So trick your mind to talk to more people. So if you can imagine back again to the ships at sea presentation, this is bringing it back to the ships. Here now, your job is you're standing on the dock, and you're launching ships. Okay, you've never done it in your life. You've got nothing in your subconscious to hurt you by launching the ship, and it's you standing on that ramp, not somebody else. It's you. You're standing on the ramp. You're about to launch a ship. How do you launch the ship? You ask somebody. You say, hey, do you know anybody that would like to earn some extra income? Guess what? You've just launched your first ship. So what happens after that? You say, no, thanks, I'm not interested. I don't know anybody. Fine. If you run into somebody, can you have them call me? Where are you? You're standing on the dock. You're not going down with the ship. Haven't been rejected. You're still standing on the dock, right? There's the trick. you're still standing on the dock, ready to ask the next person. So there's only two possibilities really when you launch a ship. One is that it floats, the other one is that it sinks. So if it sinks, okay, so what? You're not rejected. You're still standing on the dock, right? You're ready to launch your next ship. So and we'll get to the floating part a little bit later. So your job then is to launch the first ship. Your job is now launching a lot of ships. And sometimes when you launch the ship, it will return empty. Yes, it came in empty, but that is not a rejection. Your job then is to make sure that ship comes in next time with cargo, right? Keep them around long enough, keep them within your organization until they turn from an empty ship into a silver ship, into a gold ship, if you remember back to the last presentation. So the job here is launching more ships, launching ships, launching ships, more ships. Do you know of anybody that would be interested in? Do you know of anybody that would be interested in? You're launching ships, and eventually you're going to get that, hey, yeah, this person's interested, this person's interested. You're doing your geological survey of where the gold is, and you're narrowing down that search area so that it would take you less time to get to those gold chips. And here's also where you spend most of your time once you get the gold chip, is making sure that you guide them back into shore where you're going to benefit from that gold cargo. Okay? Now, we said about the ship sinking. Okay, we talked about that. You're not rejected, you're still on shore. What if the ship floats? Well, that's great, right? You're sending that ship out. You're helping turning it now from a silver ship, again, if we remember back to the last presentation, from a silver ship to a gold ship. And then you're spending your time guiding that ship back in to make sure that you get the benefit of that gold-carrying vessel. Okay, but the idea here is that you repeat this over and over again, and you're not going to feel that rejection because you've tricked your mind into standing on the shore. Even if that ship sinks and says, no thanks, I'm not interested, you're still on the shore, you haven't been rejected, and you're ready to launch your next ship. So that's the idea of the third-party invitation. So hopefully this is something that will give you some direction when you get out there and start talking to people about your opportunity and your product, and a way to do it that doesn't make people defensive or say, no thanks, I'm not interested. You want to trigger in their mind rather, hey, yeah, I do know somebody that's interested and I want to help you with this. These two people are interested, and by the way, so am I. Now you got three people to get ready for your next presentation and bring them into the organization and turn them from silver ships into gold ships. So again, once again, all the best out there as you do prospecting with third-party invitation. And if you have comments, let us know how it went with your third-party invitation. Put those comments in the comments below, and any other questions you have, we'll try to answer them as we go. Thanks again for watching this video, and we'll see you in the next training session. Thanks.